Okay, I want to show you something that you've never seen before. On the other side of the room, I'll show it to you in a second, I have a precision laser pointer, not a crap laser pointer, but a precision one that is about 5 inches away from a needle. Okay, it's not shining through the eye of the needle, but the body of the needle. So unlike the double-slit experiment, which supposedly proves wave-particle duality nonsense, this proves just the opposite. And let me show you. Let me come up here and let me block out the major part of the beam here so you're able to see it. I'm using a white card reflector. Here you'll see constructive and destructive interference patterns along the spread of the laser. Now, there aren't any slits in this laser experiment. No, none. Actually, my laser beam turned off. Hold on a second here. Let me turn it back on. The premise of this is that the supposed double-slit experiments that proves the assumed wave-particle duality nature of light is absolute bunk. It doesn't exist. I mean, nobody understands. The whole notion of wave-particle duality is the entire premise behind quantum mechanics and quantum physics. Now, neither general relativity nor quantum mechanics has ever defined a field. And of course, light is not merely a transverse electrical and magnetic perturbation, which of course has absolutely no quantity whatsoever. It also has a z-axis radiodielectric component. This is actually, this premise, although it was never said, preempted Oliver Heaviside to create the coaxial cable. Now let me turn the light off again. I actually had to tape the switch down to keep the laser on. Since it's a precision laser, it doesn't want to be kept on for obvious reasons. But let me come up here and show you again. The double-slit experiment supposedly proves, let me block out the major beam of the laser here so you're able to see it. And you'll see, I'll drop a white card behind it. The further I get back too, the more the interference pattern spreads apart, but you're actually able to see it here. Okay, you can perform this experiment you want if yourself if you want, but you'll actually see red line, black line, spreading out along either side of the main beam where it reconverges around the needle. And since it's coherent perturbation, never do this with your camera, by the way. I'm doing this with a point-and-shoot camera, okay? Which of course still matters, but never shoot laser light with a DSLR camera, as I told you in a couple of other videos. But since we're talking about a cheapo point-and-shoot camera, it's no big deal. But you're actually able to see it there, okay? Let me turn the light on and I'll prove to you what is behind the camera. It's exactly what I said that it is. And has general relativity or quantum mechanics ever done this experiment? Why, no, they never have. Because it disproves the entire basis of the wave-particle duality nonsense. Let me come over here. Let me plug a light in really quick so that you could see by. Yeah, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. Get over it. Deal with it. Here we go. See, all I have, it's not shining through the eye of the needle. I have, this isn't a regular laser pointer, it's actually a precision, very narrow bandwidth laser pointer. It's one of the old, really good ones that has a very minor beam divergence. Here we go. Some of the ones are actually slits. They're actually spread out a flat laser beam. This one's a single point. But the point is that I'm able to replicate over here the same results as the supposed double-slit experiment. It's like, well, I've removed the slits, the blocks and the slits, and so I get the same results. So what is this? The premise that light is a wave and a particle is nonsense. This is absolutely BS. Tesla said it was BS. Oliver Heaviside, of course, Charles Maxwell, and he didn't actually survive long enough to see relativity take bloom, but Oliver Heaviside said that this was a brain-wasting disease. Tesla said it was bunko and nonsense. The point is that using a single bar, it could have been thinner. The results are the same. Not shining it through the needle hole, the eye of the needle, but actually just across the bar, able to replicate the exact same results as the double-slit experiment. And this de facto disproves the premise of wave-particle duality. You see, additive and destructive coherent interference, and why the actual light bends around the needle. Obviously, the beam itself is fatter than the needle, but how it reconverges on the other side, kind of like a fat person, walking straight into a lamppost and splitting in two, and then reconverging again at the other end, as an analogy. How that happens is due to the coherent nature of light. Light is an ether perturbation. As a light bulb, just like this light bulb here does not emit light. There's nothing emitted out of a light bulb. There's nothing emitted out of a laser. Okay? This laser does not emit anything, neither does a light bulb. What it does do is it causes ether perturbation, which moves at the rate of c, but the rate of c is not constant. It's actually variable depending on the rate of induction through which it passes. How is this applicable to photography? Well, not very much so. This is a non-photography related video, but the higher the capacitance of the light, like towards the blue end of the spectrum, just like you pass sunlight through a prism, you'll notice that which is deflected more is the blue light because it has more energy. It is literally like a car that's skidding along a wet road and being thrown further than a slower car which tries to take a turn through a wet road. It doesn't diverge as much. So if you have a slow-moving red light going around a corner, the wet corner would be the glass in this case, as far as optics, it is taking a turn around the wet corner. It doesn't actually skid that far before it emerges out of the turn. And the blue light, which is going a lot faster, it hits the wet spot, in this case the glass. It has a lot more energy. What it does is it actually diverges more before it comes out of the turn. That wet turn is the glass. And, light is not phenomena. Phenomena has substantia. It means that there is something substantial. The notion of a photon, there's no such thing as photons, smacking the back of your sensor, and there's no such thing as light hitting anybody's face, and there's absolutely no such nonsense as light being emitted from a light bulb. It is the point source of ether perturbation, which induces transverse electrical and magnetic phenomena, which have a rate of induction. That rate of induction is c, but c is not constant. We know by passing light through lucite, light through glass. The reason why ED elements are used in photography equipment is that the ED glass is doped with a dielectric compound which has extremely good dielectric permittivity, which means that the blue light does not get to diverge so much as it comes through the skid, if you will, analogously. So we have just disproved the double-slit experiment by eliminating out the slits. This would be like the double-slit experiment. They'll pass a single beam of light through the double-slit, and then it'll actually get, constructive and destructive interference, and they try to use that to back up general relativity and quantum mechanics, but I used a single needle, and I got the exact same results. People do not know what light is. Tesla knew what it was, Roger Buskovich knew what it was, and I know what it is, and I'm the first person to explain it completely, but the explanation has to match all phenomena, has to match all observed effects, and the only thing that matches all observed phenomena of light is my explanation in the book, and I'll elaborate on it further. But the notion of wave-particle duality and the double-slit experiment backing up quantum mechanics and general relativity, it's nonsense. Light is not a packet of particles. Light is not photons. Light is not merely so electromagnetic. I mean, that's like saying, well, the car driving down the road, that's electromagnetic. That's electromagnetism. It's like, well, yeah, you've forgot the third component, and that's the driver behind the wheel. In this case, light has a driver, and it's a z-axis radial dielectric component, which is longitudinal. And the linear and circular polarization that operates transversely has, any transverse phenomena has a rate of induction, because all transverse phenomena is a spatial induction, which is a limiter. In other words, if actually something is moving back and forth, it has phenomenal spatial gradient, and this is known as electromagnetic retardation, by the way. And that phenomena has a rate of induction depending on the medium that it's passing through. But general relativity is wrong, quantum mechanics is wrong, because all of it is based upon the notion of wave-particle duality, or as Einstein, the idiot, called it, das Lichtwand. It's ridiculous. It's an absurdity. So you saw it here first, and thanks for watching. And if it bored you to tears, well, that's not my fault. At least you saw it, right? Think. Use your brain more. Just stop being a sheeple. Because most people just, well, so-and-so's got a degree and his stuff's peer-reviewed. Well, it doesn't mean anything. Here's one thing for certain, and it's undeniable. Every branch of science throughout history has always thought they were right. And every branch of history throughout science was always proven wrong. 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years later, it's always proven wrong. And here in 2015 is absolutely no different. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.